Tina tātou katoa.
I call the Honourable Peter Sam Lotu-Iiga.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, it's a privilege to speak on this, the Prime Minister's statement to this House, and to speak for the first time, sir, as the Minister of Pacific Island Affairs, of which I'm honoured and humbled to be entrusted with that particular title, as well as the Associate Minister of Local Government. And I'm honoured that the Prime Minister placed his trust and his faith in me to deliver for those portfolios. I'm honoured with a Prime Minister, sir, that has led a government that has stabilised the economy, that has grown this economy, grown jobs in this nation of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and also has provided infrastructure, educational services, health services that all New Zealanders should be proud of, sir. And just on education, sir, last Friday I attended an opening ceremony for a unique school in my original home community of Mangere, sir. The Rise Up Trust, sir, is a not-for-profit community organisation which provides education services for Pacifica and Māori whānau. And this, sir, was the first, and it won't be the last, it is the first partnership school with Pacific leadership, with Pacific governance, teachers, teaching Pacific values within the New Zealand curriculum, sir. And those programs were designed by teachers who have grown up and worked in South Auckland schools for many years. The school, which started in a Mangere garage and culminated last week in the opening of this second partnership school. And sir, I consider this school to mark a small but significant milestone for this country's youngest and fastest growing population in and around Mangere. It represents a promising new approach to teaching Pacifica children, and I am proud that this government, this national government, has poured resources into Pacific people and into Pacific communities and communities of South Auckland so that they can have opportunities, sir, that they can have hope, and that ultimately they can have financial freedom and self-reliance. Sir, the Pacific community, which makes up 64% of Mangere, has mobilised itself, and it's taking charge of its own children's future, because it's going to be a bright one, sir. So, sir, in the last 5 years, we've seen big results based on the commitments and the promises that the national government the platform that we came on in 2008, that we electioneered on, and that we're delivering on in the last 5 years. It's about building a faster growing economy with more jobs, rising incomes, and supporting New Zealanders and their families. Sir, it's also about being fiscally prudent so that a budget surplus is forecast for the next financial year in 2014-15. And sir, why would New Zealanders risk that with a Labour Greens coalition who are prepared to tax and spend at exorbitant and reckless rates? Our economy, sir, has grown 3.5%, and it's been picked up by leaders around the world as a role model for developed nations. Our wages have outpaced inflation, as Mr Simpson knows. And Mr Beaumont might scoff, but here are the facts. 16.1% rise in wages since December 2008, and inflation has only gone up 10.8%. I suggest, ma'am, that you do your homework and find out that wages have increased faster than inflation. And this morning, sir, and Mr Lees-Galloway knows this morning 66,000 more people went to work in New Zealand than this time last year. 66,000 more New Zealanders are employed currently than this time last year. And as the last 5 years has shown, this national-led government has delivered stable leadership and put New Zealanders back on the right track. So, the future success and prosperity of Pacific people will influence the outcomes for New Zealand as a whole. We know that they currently represent 8% of the population. By 2026, that estimate is 10% of the population, and they say by 2050, the prediction will be that Māori and Pacific and other ethnic groups will form approximately 50% of the population. So we need to have our next generation of Pacific people in prominent positions, not just as doctors, lawyers, teachers, scientists and accountants, but also in trades And the most important thing that this government has stated is that they are employed. That they are employed, that they have better skills to meet the demands for 21st century, a 21st century in which we are competing with nations not just in Asia and Europe, but also the Americas. So our government is working hard to prepare young people for the future and giving them the educational foundation to succeed in life. Last year, sir, I attended the Prime Minister's Pacific Youth Awards scholarships right here in Parliament. And I was proud, sir, to see 7 young people who were given awards for leadership, creativity, technological flair and educational promise. And each of them, sir, was a tertiary student, and each, I would offer the view, would go on to great success. But a common theme was the tribute that each of these students paid to their families and the support that their whānau and families had given in their educational endeavours. And it's not just about education and programs and buildings and sports fields and the like. It really is about the support that whānau can give, that their families can give outside of school, the support, encouragement and love that they can give to whānau in order that they can succeed, not just at school, but in the workplace and in our communities too. And without exception, they credited education as fundamental to that success. And that's why our government is focused very much on standards in education, it's focused very much on achievement levels, and it's focused very much on our kids gaining the skills that they need to succeed in the future. So, in 2012, Minister Parata released the Pacifica Education Plan, and it's an overarching plan to increase Pacifica achievement and participation in education, right from early childhood education right up to tertiary level education, sir. One of the goals is to raise NCA level 2 in ways that is connected with entering employment or further training. And already, sir, I can report to this House and to our country that Pacific achievement in NCA level 2 has improved from 56.5% in 2009 to 64.8% in 2012. And last Friday, I attended a breakfast for Pacific students at Rosmini College in the North Shore. And these Pacific students achieved 100% pass rates in NCA's level 1 and 3, 91% pass rate at level 2. So we've got some stars out there. We've got young kids that are really performing and achieving. And while we accept that these achievement levels are going up, there's still more to be done out there. We've introduced programs like Pacifica Power Up, with Minister Parata leading the charge to help Pacific students prepare and study for exams. It takes a whole-of-family approach. Power Up is a 12-month engagement program with an intensive 8-week challenge delivered through 8 Pacific community-based study hubs, predominantly in South Auckland. The young people receive support, advice around their studies. Parents are informed about the structure of NCA, its significance, and advice around providing They provide advice around family support for their children's success. And these power-up programs help give effect to the energy, the desire in Pacific communities for the young people to do better in NCA level 1, 2 and 3. And we had over 1,600 Pacifica students, parents and families attend these programs right across the country, as I said, predominantly in South Auckland. And that's a great sign that Pacific people are passionate about education and eager to be part of a skilled workforce. So just on employment, I've said that there are currently just under 2.3 million people employed across our country. Forecasts show that these trends will continue this year as the government's business growth agenda leads to expanded export markets, more innovation, better infrastructure, greater skills development and improved resources. And our Pacific community is sharing in the employment gains. The unemployment rate for Pacific is down 2.3% from a year ago. And since 2011, Pacific Employment Support Services has assisted providers to help raise NCA level 2 success in 25 schools throughout Auckland. So I just want to sum up by saying we're approaching a general election where New Zealanders will have a clear choice. Through difficult times, the government has put this government and Ms Beaumont knows this, has put New Zealand on a strong financial footing. The economy is growing, we're creating jobs, and we're having higher incomes. And that, ma'am, is for all New Zealanders. This government will continue to deliver those results going forward.
Call Jamie Lee Ross.
Move this debate be now adjourned.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. This debate is interrupted and set down for resumption next sitting day. Call on Government Order of the Day number 1.
Smoke-free.